Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, we've got two international games for you here with England. The first of which is Lithuania, and as we mentioned in the last episode, the whipping boys of the group Malta in the World Cup qualifiers. Last game, of course, if you missed out in the last episode, we did beat Slovenia 5-1, a great result at home at Wembley, and really couldn't ask for a better start in truth. So hopefully we continue that today. And just to give you a quick idea on how the group looks so far, even though it's just been one game, we're obviously leading in terms of goal difference, and Slovakia they're in second. So if we beat Lithuania and Malta, we would really start putting some space between ourselves and the teams below us as well. So in terms of who's been selected, I went straight into the team. Basically we just need to submit the team and then we can get into today's game. I did mention in the last episode that we would be showing you, the process of selecting players and whatnot, and I thought that would be a good idea, but because there's such a big gap between when I actually do select the players and when the players are selected in the end, when the game actually starts, then it just made sense to show you from the get-go, because sometimes players get injured and replaced and whatnot. So in terms of the squad themselves, let's just go through the positions quite quickly. So goalkeepers is pretty much the same as last time around. We've got Hart, Forster and Heaton. Ben Foster's one of the good ones as well, but unfortunately he misses out because he's one of the goalkeepers who hasn't had necessarily a great season so far. There's only been 7 Premier League games played up until October, so not too much to pick from just yet, but we are getting a bit of a feel of our team. And in terms of the defense, I think we can go through it. So the defense, Dyer is not one of the defenders. It's actually between Stones, Keane, and we've also got, these are the centre backs actually, we've got Cahill and Simon Francis as well. So Smalling misses out because of game time, so there's Jones, they haven't played enough for their clubs. Shawcross unfortunately got injured after we picked him up. He's picked up an injury that keeps him out for 2 months. We actually had him selected. He's had a pretty decent season so far. He's played 7 games and he's got a 7.46 average rating, so he really did deserve to play. And with 2 caps, he's gonna get involved with our team a lot more often, but unfortunately he misses out. And so Cahill came in because he's one of the Premier League players who've actually managed to play, English players who've managed to play, and he's got a decent rating. Francis, of course, the Bournemouth player, 31 years of age, but he's actually playing really well for Bournemouth. He's made all 7 appearances, all of them starts, and he's still averages a 7.14 rating as well, so great for him. Possibly making getting 1 international cap really late in his career, but it's decent enough still. We've got Klein and Walker, pretty straightforward right backs. They don't really have competition. Where there's a lot of competition is actually in the left back spot, with Rose, Bertrand, Baines and Shaw all competing. Baines is actually one of the ones who's not really putting up much of competition at 31 years of age. He's only played 4, that's half of the Premier League games expected, which is what we're using to categorize our players. But he hasn't had an incredible season. He's had a decent season, but not incredible. Rose and Bertrand, Shaw, all having incredible seasons, and it was really close between Rose and Bertrand and Shaw, and the defining factor was actually that Rose plays Champions League football and Shaw is a bit of a future player kind of thing. But we'll see. Maybe Bertrand can be considered for the next squad. Without a doubt, he's had a really good season so far too. But yeah, maybe a bit of bias there, but he's a little bit unfortunate to miss out, but that's just football, isn't it? In terms of the whole midfield, defensive midfielders and the attacking midfielders, Dyer, Ali, Henderson, Lallana, Wilshere, Drinkwater, Barkley and Mark Noble all make our squad. It was between Mark Noble and Carrick to be the backup defensive midfielder. Noble just about edged it because he had better game time. Not better, I think he had just about the same game time and just about the same form. What helped him was that he actually played more European football than Carrick has, because of course West Ham were involved in the qualifying stages as well. So I just included him this time to see how it is. He is younger than Carrick as well. Maybe he'll do decently, so we can consider him as well. Carrick didn't have a great game in the last time out, only a 6.7 rating, so why not give Noble a chance to perform for the national team. Players like Sterling, Lingard, Chamberlain, Antonio, all of these other players, they miss out because of game time. Rooney's not selected either because of game time. Look at him, he's only played one start and one appearance off the bench, and both have been horrible in terms of the Premier League. Just didn't deserve to play at all. So, you know, midfield kind of picks itself. In terms of strikers, though, we had a bit of a dilemma again. Of course, Vardy, Kane, always starting. Sturridge really should be up there as well because he is one of the best rated strikers, English strikers anyways. But unfortunately for him as well, he hasn't made enough appearances. All 4 appearances coming off the bench, and again, not really amazing performances either. He's just scored 1 single penalty. In terms of the other strikers, Austin, Deeney, Rashford, Berahino, Wilson, all of these players were in contention, even Walcott, but unfortunately a lot of them haven't played enough game time, including Rashford, for their clubs. Deeney and Berahino, despite not having incredible seasons, they're included just for the sake of having played enough games. They haven't had bad seasons, it's just because they haven't played incredibly either. And Jermaine Defoe gets a call up to the first team as well because, again, just because of he's played enough game time, even though he hasn't had an incredible season. As the years go on in Football Manager, we actually do miss out on you know, picking up some key players just because they haven't played enough game time for their respective clubs in England, despite being English players. They sort of just lose their quality, I suppose. A lot of teams in England preferring to play with foreign talent. You know, it becomes more and more tough as the game goes on to actually select English players because they haven't been playing enough, and I don't want to pick them even though they've got a lot of ability just because they haven't played enough. It just doesn't make any sense. But either way, we have kicked off against Lithuania. We'll be showing you both Lithuania and Malta. We are the favourites, of course, away from home, and this is the starting team we'll be going with. Kane and Berahino, Lallana, Dele Alli, Henderson and Dyer keep their place in midfield. It's pretty straightforward. Rose and Klein will be the fullbacks, and Keane and Stones the central defenders, as well as Hart still in goal. He hasn't, you know, I think eventually he'll be falling off, but for now he has made enough decent appearances for Torino in, you know, the Serie A. He hasn't played great just yet, but considering the lack of goalkeeping options, we've decided to give him one more chance to, you know, prove his worth to the national team. If we can get back to the game, there you go. All right, so they're playing a 4-2-3-1. I think you know, we'll try and dominate the midfield while they try and dominate the flanks. It'll be interesting, but still should expect England to win the game and meet expectations. So we kick off here. And it is Kane who gets the game started. So Rose has got it now. We're playing with, compared to the last game, we started off with the control mentality, but this time actually we'll be starting off with counter, just as I normally do in all my other games. I just want to try and give control and get, you know, a real go to see whether the tactic would actually work. We're going to be starting with counter, eventually move into control and possibly even overload if we really need to try and win the game. But so far it looks like we're doing decently with counter. A couple of shots, a couple of half chances, and Klein gets the early yellow card. Gonna have to give him a bit of a warning there, and hopefully it doesn't amount into a red. But anyways, not much, not too many highlights so far. I was hoping for a, you know, a lot of goals basically against Lithuania. If you know, if the Slovenia game was anything to go by, Lithuania should be an easier team to beat. But so far, nothing yet. So we'll move on to control. Let's see whether we can actually start to seriously damage this Lithuania team away from home. But still, nothing. Henderson, the captain, is actually, we've kept Rooney as captain and Henderson as a vice captain. He is one of the players with the best leadership as well as teamwork at the same time. Just made a little bit of sense. He's also one of the players who's kind of guaranteed to be a starter. That's one of the things I was worried about selecting Rooney as captain, was that he wouldn't really be a starter. But either way, Lithuania have gotten the ball here, and it looks like they're trying to do some early, well, not early damage, some damage just before halftime, but thankfully Klein's dealt with that, and Hart's made a mess out of it. But you know, that doesn't amount to anything. I think the players should know I'm not happy with that. That is not good enough. Actually, I think I made a mistake. I should have encouraged them that we could still win the game. When you're away from home, you need to encourage them to actually still win, that they can still win the game. When you're at home, you have more license to actually tell them off. But either way, hopefully that doesn't damage the rest of our game. And with the way the stats are going, the goal should be coming any time now. But is Lithuania with the corner? Hart's dealt with that. Can he get us started here? Can we finally go on and get the opening goal? Berahino Plays it down to Klein. Klein finds Lallana, and Lallana, can he play it through? Instead he misses out, and it is Lithuania on the counter, but Rose does well to get back in time and stones. The ball-playing defender finds Keane, who plays a horrible pass, even though he's considered a ball-playing defender. That was a horrible pass, and it is Lithuania who threw here. Can he find his man? Yes, he can, and it is Hart who couldn't collect that, but instead he'll have to collect it from his own net. Lithuania 1, England 0. As you can see there, look at that. Hart and Keane both responsible for that. And Lithuania immediately going into defensive shape, a 4-1-4-1. And unless we rescue a point here, it would be a terrible second game in our group. We need to make some substitutions here. Kane's had a horrible game. We're going to bring on Troy Deeney, hopefully to good effect. And you know what, we'll take off Berahino as well for Defoe. Maybe some of that international experience will come in handy here. And maybe I'd consider, I think I'll take off Dele Alli for Wilshere, who's actually had a decent season so far with Bournemouth. Obviously it is just Bournemouth, but you know, he's had the game time compared to other English players, so why not? And he is a good player as well. Give him a chance to restore his England career, and he's just lucky at the same time that there's no one else out there that is better than him or playing enough games. We've got set piece here. Can we score? Instead, the Lithuanian goalkeeper, who name I won't attempt to say, has dealt with that, but hopefully we can win it back here and actually still compete. And that's exactly what Klein does. He finds Wilshere, who finds Henderson, and it is Lallana who almost found Deeney, but Keane again, hopefully not a bad pass. Wilshere. Looks like my team's really just being very risky with the ball, which is a bit worrying. They should take their time building this. Wilshere does take a long-range shot, which is decent, but that's exactly what I want to see from a central midfielder on attack duty, and hopefully we can see more of that. Instead, this Lithuania with the ball here from the throw-in. Henderson, tough tackle, but he does win it fairly, and Lallana's set off on his way. Can he do something? He's trying to go all the way by himself. He's supposed to try and keep the ball, which is a bit confusing why they're taking so many risks. Either way, Lithuania with the ball. Nowhere really to go, but they've still managed to keep it. Defoe. Can't do anything. Lallana. Second chance to make amends. Henderson. Again, Deeney can't do anything about that. For some reason, we can't connect two passes together. And Lithuania really putting some serious pressure on us. Dyer not doing enough there as a halfback. Really not protecting his defense at all. But either way, the clock is ticking. Looks like we're running out of serious time to do any damage here. Can we run away with a point? If we get a point, that would be decent. And comparing to the Slovenia game, this is just the complete opposite. We went from dominating the game incredibly, and it convinced me it was the right tactics, and then suddenly we were losing to Lithuania 1-0 away from home, despite playing better. It looks like the game will end that way. Alright, last set piece, and it should be the end of that. Okay, so I was hoping we'd go undefeated for the whole World Cup qualifying games, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case. And we need to make amends against Malta within 2 days' time. We're going to quickly skip ahead. What a horrible game though. To have played better than Lithuania and still lose that. I mean, they still played quite decently. They did create the only clear-cut chance of the game. But still, by all means, that was a terrible performance. We are a team in transition though. Trying to move out some of the older players and bring in some of the youth. Hopefully, that should pay off in the long term. And maybe we'll get another English golden generation. Alright, the game taking a while to actually sim through because of all the international games, but yeah, Malta in 5th and we are still in 2nd despite that loss somehow. And I'm hoping some really good goal difference against Malta will help us actually push up to the table. I think second based best placed team actually does still qualify technically, but we don't want that at all. We need to qualify by default, and I think that's our expected seats. Let's qualify from the group. It's still the second game only though. Still have 8 more games to play, so a lot to go through, but we should be facing off against Malta now. We can go through the whole team selection together as well. Pretty sure some of the players from the game against Lithuania will be tired. The likes of Dyer, who didn't get subbed off, he looked tired during the game as well. But unfortunately, we had to make attacking substitutions. That was the issue. Montenegro being Romania, that was one hell of a game. Ronaldo on the score sheet for Portugal against Switzerland. Denmark beating Kazakhstan comfortably. And the Faroe Islands beating Latvia. These are some strange results. I guess that kind of makes the Lithuanian game a little bit more acceptable. Alright, Poland, Armenia. Bunch of under 21 games. Tell you guys what, from the next video onwards, I'll be skipping the simming for you lot, so you don't have to get tortured like that again. Alright, so Klein definitely tired. We'll bring on Walker. Keane exhausted as well. We'll bring on Francis. Stones and Rose should be match fit still. No, Rose is tired. We can bring in Shaw without a doubt. Not a bad replacement. Noble will get his international debut against Malta. Not a tough game to have a debut against. Ali, are you tired? No, he's match fit as well. Lallana should be exhausted, and he is. Barkley would take his place as advanced playmaker. Probably what he's most suited to be honest. That leaves us with Kane and Berahino, who not necessarily great games last time out, but Dini and Defoe didn't necessarily do much either. Plus they are better in ability, so we'll trust them once more. Hopefully they can perform today when it's needed, when it's necessary. Still early, but you know, if you can't get a result against Malta, then who can you get a result against? Alright, teams are warming up. Overwhelming favourites. They are matching us in midfield. So it looks like whoever plays better in midfield will outperform the other. Expectations are on us, and I'll pass that on to my team. And again, we kick off first. There you go. Barkley, Henderson, finding Noble, the halfback of course. And not necessarily his best role, but he still can play that role comfortably. I think he's best as a deep line playmaker, but he should still be fine. Dele Alli leading the way. He finds Berahino. Can he find someone in the box? Instead he takes the long way around, but here's Barkley. Oh, he almost scored. And that attack somehow amounts into nothing. 3 shots, 2 half chances within the span of 5 minutes. Not a bad start, but again, can't be misled after that Lithuania game. Henderson with the corner. Kane's got a chance to put another ball into the box here. Instead, he's going to take everyone on and find Henderson. Can he do anything here? Instead, he's taken out by Anthony Attard, and looks like that was a tough tackle. Is he going to be sent off? No, it's just a yellow. Maybe we'll make the most out of the set piece, though. Can Barkley do anything here? Can he find someone? Instead, it's just simply out to Noble. Barkley, Ali, Kane, Walker. Good ball into the box. Definitely a good ball into the box, and somehow, I think that should still count. Berahino getting his first goal for the national team. And who else against Malta would you get that? 20 minutes now, Noble. Shaw. And Francis getting, it's just everyone's getting a debut goal here and a debut, international debut in itself. So at 31 years of age, Sam Francis scoring and getting his first international cap in the same game. And that's pretty much why it's okay to rotate your team against Malta. Either way though, let's not speak too early. It's still only 2-0. They do have the ball, but Ali wins it back, and Kane does have a long range shot, which isn't bad actually against the crossbar, but it's dealt with by Malta, who have straight away just gone into defensive. Unless they've started that way. Either way, 4-1, 3-1-1 pretty much tells us own story. Mark Noble with the relatively early yellow card, so we just do need to warn him about getting a second one. Don't want to be using substitutions on him. We need to save that for tired players who've played well. Walker finds Noble, and again it's back to Walker. Barkley, Walker once again. Dele Alli. It's just fullbacks having full range here, as you can see. Shaw misses out eventually, and it is Malta come away the ball, but Noble does well to win it back, and that's exactly why you play a half-back there. For some reason, Walker thinks he can take a shot there. You're going to have plenty of highlights this game, without a doubt. Ball-winning midfielder Henderson finds Walker. Just about misses out on the ball, and Hilly brings the ball forward for Malta. But he's just outnumbered, really. Francis doing well there. Barkley, long-range pass. I'm not sure why he felt the need to do that. And it is Malta still with the ball, but Walker wins it back. Thankfully, Barkley plays a simple ball, and Walker will have the free range of running all out. Kane, for some reason, all the way out wide. Not sure why. Dele Alli, long-range shot. Very poor. I was hoping for more than 2 goals before half-time, but all that's necessarily needed is 3 points. So can we maintain the lead? And there you go, second half. Let's get into it. Ooh. Penalty by Malta. Walker wins it, but it's not Walker who takes it, instead it's Noble. Can he score his first international goal too? Yes, he can. And on his debut as well, I think. Players looking complacent, which is a bit worrying, but we still are 3-0 up. There you go. We are kind of making amends here, but we do have to try and not get carried away, because there was no way Malta should have been beating us either way. But anyways, it is the 60th minute here. No one necessarily needing to be subbed off. I was checking for poor performers and tired players, but it is the 70th minute now, so maybe you can check again. No one's had a bad game. Some of these players are tired though, so we can take off Henderson. Wilshere not really a ball-winning midfielder. Maybe Drinkwater can do that role a little bit better. Dele Alli can be taken off for Wilshere instead there. And Stones can be taken off for Keane again. There you go. That's our 3 subs used up. You shouldn't necessarily make all your 3 substitutions at the same time because you lose your fluidity of the team, of course, as well. But, we're 3-0 up. Try and give some players some rest. They do have to go back to their Premier League clubs and still play football as well. So, getting their club managers on my side will be a bit more helpful to me in the long run as well. So Noble finds Drinkwater. Really just playing with the ball around now, but Shaw's got a chance to put a good ball into the box, and that's exactly what he does. But unfortunately, Kane can't make the most of it, but Berahino does, and that's a double for him there, making amends for his performance in the last game. 9.0 rating. I think he's the man of the match so far, and I wouldn't put it past him. When you put all things into consideration, a 4-0 win against Malta is technically the same as a 5-1 win against Slovenia, but saying that, Kane makes it 5-0, and it looks like Slovenia won't have to feel too bad about their poor performance in the last episode. But anyways, can't ask for more than 5-0 really. And the referee should pretty much blow his whistle at any moment here. Some decent performances for some of the players, who are trying to squeeze their way into the first team. Francis not doing bad, and considering he's had a great season so far, why not include him more ahead of the likes of Jones and Smalling, who haven't played for Manchester United at all. But either way, great performance. Started horribly and ended great. And with 3 games having played, we're still in second place with 6 points. 2 points ahead of Scotland and just 3 behind Slovakia. If we do manage to beat them, and I think we do play them in the next international break. No, we play Scotland, but if we do... Alright, so we play a couple of teams beforehand, so maybe they will drop before that. But if not, we still have the chance to beat them twice. And that way we'd still be safe. But anyways, 5-0, can't ask for more, and that will be the end of our episode. Next time round, we'll be showing you the game against Scotland. So stick around for that one, which should be tomorrow. And yeah, I think that'll be all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always, thank you all for watching.